What's up, everybody? We got a big episode today. We're talking the new trailer for Dune Part 2. We're talking new casting news for Gladiator 2. And we're diving deep into Succession Season 4, Episode 6. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Movie Mob Podcast, Episode 47 here in studio, guys. If you're new to the channel, the Movie Mob Podcast drops every Friday at 6 p.m. We got a great group here today, the usual crew. Matt here, welcome.
What's going on?
Nick behind the camera. We got a lot of great news topics today. I feel like the news cycle has been kind of weak recently. Oh. We got a big influx this week. Let's get into it. This first topic here dropped today, Wednesday when we're recording this, but the Dune Part 2 trailer came out. We got some first look images here also from Vanity Fair. Thank you, Vanity Fair, for releasing these.
Thank you.
Sponsor us.
But yeah, this trailer dropped a few hours ago for us and dove into it. I got to say, what a trailer. What a trailer. I'm pumped for this movie. It looked great. I mean, it's obviously a continuation of the first film that came out in 2021, I believe. Denis Villeneuve, he wanted to shoot it back-to-back. Studio wouldn't let him.
Who?
Denis Villeneuve. What?
Okay.
How do you pronounce it? It's French.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's fine.
And he wanted to shoot it back-to-back. Studio didn't want to put that much money into it yet, but here we are. We got the sequel. It looks great. It's shot all in IMAX. The whole movie is in IMAX, which is going to be exciting. Visuals are on point. Performances are on point. We got our first look at Florence Pugh as the princess. We got our first look at Austin Butler as Feyd-Rautha. I'm very excited about that. But Matt, what'd you think of this?
Well, RJ, a lot of people, because Dune 1, I feel like had a lot of expectations, big cast, big budget, all that. I really enjoyed Dune 1.
Yeah.
And I had a great day seeing it. It's another story for another time. What I did before that. No, but it was Dune 1. I really liked Dune 1, and it was a little slow, but I liked that because I thought the universe was cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing all the different houses, and I like the development of the characters. And it feels like just from this trailer, which was, like you said, was a really good trailer, I thought. It seems like we're gonna get more action.
Yeah.
This movie.
Oh, 100%.
Which is exciting, and it looks like we're gonna get that. Because Zendaya really wasn't in the first one very much.
Yep.
Seems like really she's gonna be a co-lead with Chalamet, and seems like he's really gonna be taking that next step into the leader he needs to be.
Yes.
I mean, you're introducing Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, Christopher Walken's going to be in the movie.
We haven't seen him yet, but he is in it. Yep.
I mean, this has all the makings of a modern day epic.
Yes.
I feel like nowadays, I don't know, we've lost the big epic, trilogy or franchise, whatever you want to call it. I feel like when we were growing up, those were all over the place. Yeah. If this movie hits, I mean, they have I don't know, are they making a third, do you know? Or?
He wants to. Okay. He wants to adapt the second book, too.
So, dude, hopefully if this does well and they do a trilogy, I mean, this could be 20 years from now, it's the Dune trilogy.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And it looks these still shots look stunning.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So
Brilliant.
I'm excited. I'm a big Dune guy. I like also just saying Dune.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Dune.
I mean, to your point about the first movie definitely was a slow burn.
I like
and
slow.
For people who haven't read the books, the first movie was only the first half of that book.
Okay.
So this is very much, Denis said it in an interview the other day, he doesn't look at these movies as two, a sequel. This is one movie that he split into two. So that's kind of way you're going to look at, he said, this movie's going to get right into where we left off. Yeah. There's not going to be a time jump. We're getting right into it.
Good.
Nick, I think you enjoyed the first Dune, right? You had some slight issues with it, right?
It's definitely, I mean, it's a painting. The whole movie. It's absolutely stunning.
Yep.
But, okay. So last week, Movie Roulette, we talked about how 310 to Yuma is a slow burn in the beginning, but it picks up. And this is kind of my concern. Dune, as pretty as it is, there's so much in the book, right? Clearly, that just the first book is part one, part two.
Yeah, right.
They're 2-hour movies. I mean, I just looked up the first one. You were right; it came out in 2021. 2 hours and 35 minutes, and I don't know really what happened in the 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'm hoping that have you read Dune? Have you read the book?
Yeah. I mean, this second half's going to have way more action.
So the Zendaya character will have a role as
she
opposed to...
She has a big role, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know we were introduced to her.
And then The other characters like Florence Pugh and Austin Butler's character is going to be the main like villain.
Yeah, so he seemed a little upset, Austin Butler.
Yeah,
someone pissed in his oatmeal.
Yeah, I like his makeup though. He looks good.
Right.
Hopefully he doesn't do the Elvis voice.
Like I said, I watched Dune Part 1. It's not, to me at least in my head, it's not the most memorable film. Besides the fact that I remember that it looked really nice. It looked incredible. Would I pay to go to IMAX to see Dune Part 2? Maybe not.
Okay.
I mean, I saw the first one on HBO Max because they dropped everything that way. So I know that I understand it's a different experience, but at like $35 a head to go see it,
100%.
I'd rather see
That's
Oppenheimer.
Fair.
You know what I mean? But no, I'm not knocking it. I think it'd be. I'm sure it's good. Go see it if you like Dune. Go see it.
I'll be there, but I think you might.
I think it's one of those things. Just to wrap up what I'm saying, I think it's one of those things where if you haven't read the book first, then you don't know what you're getting yourself into, and you could probably be a little discouraged.
Right. So I feel like if you see this next part and you really like it, I feel like you'll like the first one more. Because, like Denise said, it is one big film, really. But that's tough. That's a big commitment. You're looking at, 5 hours, 6 hours of movie right there if you watch them both back to back.
Right. And you're never going to sell me. You know me, dude. Like, I like gritty, shitty stuff. Like, if it's a good story, good actors, good whatever, the really pretty visual aspect of it that's not going to tie me in.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You need substance.
It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, the Dune it's a sick movie, and I really liked. It's kind of Star Wars-y. Like, there are certain things that are like, I love the bug plane thing that they have, whatever, right? And it just gives you that feel, like sand.
Yeah, that was one of George's biggest inspirations for Star Wars was Dune.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like the speeders and all the little things that you have, right?
Planet of Sand.
Yeah,
so like it's definitely in the realm of something that I would enjoy. I just felt like for 3 hours to sit there and just like, okay, it's a little guy in the desert walking around.
I actually did when I saw it the first time. I fell asleep during the.
You were in LA, right?
But I went at a 10:45 p.m. screening.
That's late.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, would you? I'm just asking. Like, would you have fallen asleep? Do you think during a Scorsese 2.5 hour movie
at 10:45?
I went to see Wolf of Wall Street the first time. It was a 10 o'clock showing or an 11 o'clock showing, whatever it was. And I left the theater going, "We're going back in there, or what?"
Yeah.
Anybody else coming back in with me or what?
No, I don't. I never fall asleep during movies. Really.
Yeah.
But, if it's later at night.
Sam falls asleep all the time.
He does. Sam does fall asleep. But but to your point, Matt, about them possibly making this a trilogy, I've read the second book. Then they get really weird.
Okay.
So I feel like if they just do the trilogy, it's a great move. It's kind of Paul's story runs through that. It gets very dark.
Oh.
Yeah, so it takes it. What I like about it is it doesn't fall into the tropey, like, this guy's the hero, he's good at everything. Like, Paul becomes a very, like, controversial character.
Which one is Paul?
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, okay.
So he's not like your typical can't do no wrong, like,
that's good
hero.
Even in the first movie, like, it was dark. Like, a bunch of the main characters died.
Oh, yeah.
Duncan Idaho is Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Like, I was very happy. Lady Jessica, she's my favorite character. Becca Ferguson, I think she does a great job. And I'm actually really excited to get more into that. The I don't know what they're called. The ladies, the Mystic.
The Bene Gesserit.
Yeah. They're what's going on there?
It's interesting. It's interesting.
I need more of them, and I need more worms.
Amen. Yeah, and Chalamet said the worm they use when he's riding it is practical.
Perfect.
That's sick.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right.
Get it?
All right.
We're getting them a little excited.
Yeah, there's a little movement, minuscule, but it's cold out today. What are you gonna do?
A lot of movement for you though on this next topic here.
Oh, dude.
Finally got new images from Killers of the Flower Moon after, 2 years of the same fucking picture of Leo sitting at a table.
Finally ate his dinner, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But here's another picture of Leo, but here's Bobby De Niro right next to him. Obviously, we're pumped for this movie. It comes out this year. It's an Apple movie, but I actually read that it's going to have a full theatrical release before it goes on Apple.
Good.
So the deal is that it just lands on Apple after the fact, which I think is great. But yeah, this is the first Scorsese movie where he's pairing De Niro and DiCaprio together. But I did look up a brief log line because we really don't know much about what this story is. None of us have read the book. So it says members of the oil-wealthy Osage Nation are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s. So I know it definitely it deals with obviously oil on like Native American lands. So there's definitely going to have some social commentary and stuff in there, but it's a true story. So, Marty loves those. What do you guys think? You excited? Yeah.
Well, for me, the 1920s is because I'm a big like aesthetic guy. So like the aesthetic of Dune that really interests me. I think it's really cool, like sci-fi fantasy. The 1920s, that's not really an era that attracts me. Yeah. Like I think it's just kind of dull. I mean, look at the
unless it's Great Gatsby or something.
Like even the color grading, like that's kind of like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
listen to this one, the color grading, I like.
It's good.
But what interests me,
that's gonna be an EP someday. I swear to God, RJ.
I'm learning.
I swear to God, he's
I'm
gonna
learning.
be. I love it. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
But what interests me is, like you said, it's Scorsese, it's Leo, and Dune. Because if this was literally anyone else, I wouldn't give a shit. I would never see this movie in a million years. You know what I mean? With that plot.
Yeah, it's fair.
But because it's Scorsese, because it's Leo, because it's De Niro, like you have to see it. You know what I mean? So for that reason, I'm in, and I'm sure it'd be a good movie. And like you said, it would be like social commentary and stuff, and probably have like a deep meaning. Just that like I don't know, that time frame doesn't interest me, but like I'll definitely be.
It'll
interested.
be almost 4 hours.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a whole day event.
I also think Brendan Fraser's in this too, and Jesse Plemons.
Yeah,
Hopefully
he gets
the fake
popped
Matt
off.
Damon, we call him.
Can't stop
Nick, what do you think? Obviously, we talked about this last episode or two, but now we get these new picks.
Yeah, so we can kind of go through them if you want.
Yeah,
I put one on each because we lose three of them.
This one's Leo's wearing a hat, Bob's wearing a hat.
Yeah, 2 hats, and then different hat in this next one.
There you go, some old cars.
So that's the woman that was sitting at the table with him in the original picture that we got, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, movie.
And so she's part of the.
That's what I'm guessing.
Osage Nation or Osage or whatever it is.
Yeah,
however you say it.
I got an idea what's going to happen here.
I like her.
Yeah, you think
he's
I have an idea
investigating the murders, and he falls in love with the Native American woman.
Yeah, and then she decides to go after an old guy. No, that's Marty.
Marty,
old
Marty.
Yeah,
she's double teaming.
Yeah.
So when I see easy,
you know what I find funny about this picture?
Two-face. Double team means something different.
Oh.
Double timing is what you're talking about.
Double timing.
She's double teaming.
I mean, listen, maybe both. Who knows? Who knows what goes on?
Yeah, Leo's a crazy guy.
Christ almighty.
She might be too old for him, though.
In the Lord's house.
Anyway, I think, and this is, Marty is definitely, in my humble opinion, I think Martin Scorsese is probably the greatest director of all time. I know you like Spielberg. I know. But I love Marty Scorsese. Yeah. I think he's fantastic. I don't know. They're investigating murders, and that's not typically how Marty does stuff. It's usually like the murder. Like he tells the story of the
brief little thing.
No, I get it. But as opposed to like this is it's a change. Like there's different types of crime dramas.
It's not a mystery.
Yeah, you either follow like Jeffrey Dahmer, who like as he's doing the bad stuff, or you follow the police as they're investigating the murders.
Yeah.
So it's like Marty's big on following the mob as they commit crimes, and then in the end they get caught, kind of deal.
Well,
this is trying to find out who did the murdering, and it's just a little.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah, I mean,
murders take place in the 1920s.
Yeah.
So based on that, I'm a little like, I don't know.
Well, he did do Shutter Island.
Good movie.
God, that's a mind fuck, isn't it?
Good movie.
Which, there's a lot of mystery,
Go up the stairs.
You're right.
So he hasn't done it before, but I get what you're saying, though. Like, traditionally,
but you're gonna. I mean, Shutter Island. That's the one. That's the investigation
I
story.
like Shutter Island a lot.
I like it too. I like it too.
I like Shutter Island too.
Good
the
movie.
whole thing, you don't know if it's real in the end.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not giving anything away if you haven't seen it.
50-50.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right. 50-50.
50-50.
It's either one way or the other way. But do you get what I'm saying? Though?
No, 100%.
Like Shutter Island is not really an investigation movie. If you think about it.
Yeah, but I think regardless of what way he does it, I feel like at this stage in his life and career, he's literally like walking through the park making these. You know what I'm saying?
I like
he's just a master.
You know what I like about master film directors like Martin Scorsese? As they get older, the craft really does just get so much better. And like
unless you're Clint Eastwood.
That's true. But
Gran Torino.
Clint Eastwood's 150, so I feel like he gets a little bit of a pass from me.
Yeah.
But I don't. I just feel like when you look at Taxi Driver versus this, or even The Irishman, right? Like just the craft itself.
Even
of
Tarantino too.
Oh yeah, of like making a film. Yeah, if you look at Reservoir Dogs versus Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Although it's a whole other story with me, but it's tight. Like he knows what he wants.
Exactly.
And I think a better example would be Reservoir Dogs versus what's my favorite one there? Django Unchained. I love Django. That's a tight film.
Yeah.
Like they're not off by one frame.
No.
You know what I mean? If you look at Reservoir Dogs, there's stuff that's like camera shaky, weird, and like it's indie. It's very indie.
Yeah.
It's very new. He's like hoping that he gets into a festival somewhere.
Right.
I mean, it's an $8 million movie, but still. So with this though, if any other industry across the board, as people get to a point of wanting to retire, they just kind of like kick back. They'll produce a few things.
Yeah.
They'll help new people.
Sure.
This is Marty's like in his prime. Like he just keeps going. So like I have faith. I agree with Matt. I like the 20s when it comes to like Great Gatsby, but I agree with Matt. Like this is like the middle of the country. It's a weird setting. It's a weird time period for it. It's
weird title.
Do we know? Yeah, Killers of Flower Moon.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, so I'm sure that has something to do with the Native American tribe, right?
Probably,
Flower Moon people or whatever it is. Do we know is this based on a real thing? Like all the rest of the story? Oh, it is a true. Okay, so then it's right up his alley.
The book that it's based off is called Killers of the Flower Moon.
Right. Okay.
So
okay,
he's a good adapter.
Yes, he is. That's what he does.
Scorsese, the adapter.
I would see this over Dune 2. That's me.
All right.
If I had to see both.
Well, I'm going to see both of them.
No, I'm glad. Thank God. That means we have a show.
Yeah.
That means we have a fucking show.
But you're saying gun to your head, Richie Aprile.
I'm seeing this.
Oh, yeah. No, if I had to see one of the other,
that's a toss-up.
I got $35 in my pocket, and I want to buy a bottle of water and go see a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's where you're wrong. You bring the bottle of water.
It's a small bottle. I mean, at the movie theater. You know what I mean? But, I'm seeing this over Dune Part 2. Just because the story, I think, would be better.
Yeah. Well, good thing you can see both now.
And I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to, yeah. Go ahead.
But let's get into it. Talking about another movie that I'm...
Dude, so much movement today in the pants. There's so much going on today.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Dude, I'm
growing
exponentially.
This is a big cream sesh
Exponential growth.
Gladiator 2.
Wow.
Now, when we first talked about this months ago, I was like, why are they making this movie?
I don't know.
And that was your initial reaction?
I did. And then we get rumblings, right?
Ooh.
Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Barry Keoghan.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And now today, or the other day, Pedro Pascal's joining the cast. Not only him, Eddie from Stranger Things, Joseph Quinn.
Oh, nice.
Connie Nielsen's back. Returning as her character from the first movie. And I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's a phenomenal actor.
That guy's great.
Jimon Hansu?
Yeah, he's coming
Guardians,
back. He needs to be in this movie.
Shazam.
How do you not have
No, that guy's awesome.
Yeah. This is crazy. I mean, this cast is getting ridiculous here. A lot of Oscar nominated guys. So I guess obviously we know who Connie is playing, but Joseph Quinn and Barry Keoghan are going to be playing brothers, co-emperors. Geta and Kurosawa they're playing here.
It's a little Roman Kendall situation.
Yeah.
Co-emperors.
Yeah. But no word on who Pedro's playing, but I'm going to guess maybe he's one of the Gladiator guys.
Like he could be the Gladiator.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. And then obviously we know Paul Mescal is going to be playing Lucius, but also no word on who Denzel's playing either. But, I mean, overall, I think what this says is this. I mean, listen, we've had bad movies in the past with Stackhouse, no doubt.
Give me one.
But, what's that? Amsterdam, that Coen brothers one.
Thank you.
That was quick. That was really good.
Listen, I do my research.
And I agree.
Yeah.
Amsterdam was not my favorite. That had Christian Bale in it, right?
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I was. Not, it was.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
It was fine to watch on. See, this is the thing, right? You don't feel as bad if you don't spend the $30 to go see it.
Right.
I watched Amsterdam and I told you about it. I was like, oh, that's an all right movie.
Yeah.
And then if you asked me, like, would you spend money in the theater? I'm like, fuck, are you out of your mind?
Yeah. I know the other one, Hail Caesar, didn't get.
Oh, that was shit. With George Clooney, no?
I believe
but that was supposed to be like a satirical bullshit film anyway.
The other one I can't think of was Monster or something. But
bro, this has to be epic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like you look at these guys, right? Paul Mescal's coming off an Oscar nomination. You got Denzel, obviously one of the best actors ever. Keegan's coming off an Oscar nom.
Yep.
Pedro Pascal's coming off The Last of Us and Mandalorian. Like he's one of the highest touted guys right now. These guys are getting hundreds of scripts a day.
Oh, yeah, easily.
The fact that they chose this, I think, says something. I mean, obviously, the opportunity to work with Ridley Scott is a
and
plus
Denzel.
for them.
Like, if you're Pedro, you're looking at seeing a movie with Denzel.
If Denzel said, yeah,
right.
So, I mean, to me, listen, this movie could be shit.
Could be.
Right now, all signs are leading in a good direction. Matt.
I mean, dude, they got Denzel, legend of the game, LeBron. You got Giannis, who's fucking Pedro Pascal, dominating the league right now. You got some young up-and-coming Bucks.
Young Bucks.
Shea Gilgeous, Ja.
Yep.
They're putting together a super team, man. And when you say, like you said, I was like, they don't need a Gladiator 2. That's such a perfect movie. But dude, really, for me, it changed the Denzel news.
Yeah.
When they cast it, I was like, all right, now I'm probably going to have to see this. And then I hear everyone else, especially Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you're right. This screams epic. Everyone's got it. This is going to be, everyone's going to be talking about it. Everyone's going to be, it's going to be like a moment, Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fucking huge. And I hope they hit.
Yeah,
I hope they hit.
I think Ridley needs this. Ridley needs like a big ass movie to like just be awesome.
Yeah. He's got a good career.
No, he does, but I feel like recently, like he was, no one saw The Last Duel, like House of Gucci, everyone made fun of, like. I feel like he needs like this unanimous big movie just to finish off the career on a high note,
Do you see what I'm saying though? Like you have someone like Scorsese who's a fucking master, dude.
Yeah.
Scorsese could just look at something and they're like, it's a masterpiece.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ridley Scott, Ridley Scott's not a bad director, but he puts out some weird.
No, he does. He's
weird
Gods in Exodus.
Yeah, just some
movie.
weird
But he's
crap.
got some bangers too. Blade Runner.
He does have some bangers.
Alien.
He absolutely does. Alien, there's a B movie they did like an A movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm so excited.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I like all these actors. No complaints here. And they all look like they'd fit in this time period.
I also kind of like that they stagger the announcents of who's going to be where
I do.
and
It
when.
just keeps getting rising.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean,
who's next, Leo?
Denzel's great, right? And that would be enough of a reason if I was an actor to be in a film.
That's what I'm wondering is like, did his commitment to it make everyone else be like, mate, this might be the.
It's like Tom Brady's on the Patriots. You want to go play with Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to go get a ring.
Yeah.
I mean, Denzel Washington is like another one who's absolutely a master of his craft. I don't know what movie it is.
Inside Man.
I feel like
American Gangsta.
Right.
Good movie.
No, it's not
Day.
American. Maybe it's Training Day, where he's the father and the son plays football or whatever it is, and he's.
Remember the Titans?
Remember the Titans?
Maybe it's been, I don't know. He's a
football
poor
coach
guy, or he lives in a poor neighborhood or whatever, and his son. Anyway,
Fences.
Yes, and he did the
Oh,
same
with
one,
Viola
and he did it on stage too.
Yes, Fences. That's Fences.
Okay, all right, Fences. So there was a great. I saw it on TikTok. You know me, but I saw the same scene performed twice. The guy had one over the other. A video of the stage performance and then a video of the same scene from the movie.
It's identical.
No, they're different on purpose. And the lines are the same, but the way he does it, because he's a good actor.
That's cool.
One's done like a stage and one's done in the movie, and it's a little bit more subdued and like intimate and whatever. And dude,
that's awesome.
he's such a good actor, man.
And he's a great guy,
he's the
too.
best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
the
he's a
best.
good guy. I don't know. I love it. I'd be down. If I was Pedro, I would have said yes. But Barry Keoghan's fantastic, too.
Yeah. And he somehow manages to do like 50 movies a year. He's always
dude, he's
bumping
on
up.
the rise.
He's
Yeah.
12 years old. I
Yeah.
mean, not really, but I mean, he's like in his 20s or whatever. Like he can, stay
And
up all
Joseph
night.
Quinn, that's cool too for him because like Stranger Things was really his breakout right
Yeah.
there.
Well,
So
who did he play in Stranger Things?
Eddie with the wig and the guitar in the last season.
The something Fire Club.
Hellfire
Club. He was the leader. Like Dustin's boy.
Yeah,
Eddie Munson?
Yeah, Eddie Munson.
Oh, that's him, dude.
Yeah,
The hair.
I liked Eddie.
Yeah.
I liked Eddie.
No,
Eddie
he
was
was a good
cool. He was a good character.
No,
he
he
was a
was.
cool kid. A little bit of a
Sure, yeah.
weirdo when he first like shows up, but he's a cool character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, this is gonna be a good movie. I don't know. I can go on. Go ahead.
I'm pumped. Well, we got one more casting announcement to talk about. Adam McKay. We know him from a number of great films. The Other Guys, Talladega Nights.
Some of our favorites.
The fucking
Nutcracker.
Big Short.
Oh.
Big Short.
The John McCain movie he did.
No, Dick Cheney. Vice.
Dick
Vice.
Cheney. That's the one. Vice. He
Vice.
did Vice. Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
His
which
last
wasn't
two
the
haven't been
best.
good.
Yeah.
The Lakers show he did is awesome.
He did produce the Lakers
That
show.
Lakers show's awesome.
He directed the pilot. It produced Succession.
Yeah, he's an
unreal.
EP on Succession.
Yeah,
too.
he's got a great track record. Obviously, we grew up with his earlier films, all those Will Ferrell movies and stuff.
He's
but
very intelligent. This guy.
oh, he is.
You got to be like.
and you could tell even in The Other Guys, even though it's such a goofy movie, like the stock stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and like it's a smart movie.
intricate details.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's got a new movie coming out, and it's starring two Roberts, Robert Downey
Oh,
Jr.
wow.
and Robert Pattinson. This is like one's
They're
looking
doing
one
the
way,
same
the other's
pose,
looking
yeah.
the other. And
One's like a east, one's like a west. So what?
yeah. So
Iron
this is
Man.
going to be following in the steps of Don't Look Up. This is going to be a Netflix film
Okay.
for Adam McKay. And this is the summary. It's very interesting. The film follows a serial killer who joins politics to change the laws to be more murder-friendly.
Wow.
And Robert Pattinson is going to be playing a serial killer in this.
Is it going to be like a comedy kind of?
I feel like
A
Adam,
dry
like
comedy?
maybe Vice, where it's
Yeah.
like drama, satire. Yeah.
I mean, listen, dude, I'm in. It's free. First
Yes.
of all, it's on Netflix.
Yes.
So I don't have to pay. That's
Check.
huge. That's about 90% of it.
Yep.
And you got Batman and Iron Man.
Yes.
And one of them's killing people.
Yep.
So, I mean, what more do you need?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
2 great actors, good director.
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, I mean, Adam McKay can get kind of political.
It's a little cute sometimes.
I was going to say,
Vice is interesting.
Big Short's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, Big Short's very
But
good.
Vice and Don't Look Up, I'm with you.
Don't Look Up did not hit. It
That
just
was
didn't
bad.
hit.
That was bad.
No good
I don't know.
movie
It was
there.
a little trope. Listen, I'm all about
Stack cast, too.
Yep.
I'm all about
Yeah.
making.
Oh, yeah. Great
Another
point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a.
We're all
another
saying
good
that
one.
couldn't mess with him, and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Yeah, you have
Kid
like
Cudi.
Meryl Streep and
Yep.
Jonah Hill
everyone.
and like everybody.
did. Kate
It's
Blanchett.
weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Listen, I knew. I don't know. I watched Don't Look Up, and I was a little like, really? Like the jokes are just
Little cute.
everything's a little surface level. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna make fun,
It's very in your face. There's no
it's over the top.
yeah.
You know, I don't know if you're gonna make fun of someone, go for the jugular. Don't like do all this like,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna make fun of conservative people, right? Meryl Streep, she plays like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Donald Trump of the movie, right?
Mhm.
And Jonah Hill's just an asshole. And then you have everybody who supports Meryl Streep in the movie was like a person from the South wearing plaid and like red
Yeah.
hat. Like it was just like like
On the
if
nose.
you were a complete moron, you understood like where he was coming
Yes,
from.
right.
And that's not like if you look at something like Succession, which we'll talk about later in the show, like he's very intricate. So it just felt like it was like
Yeah.
he was calling everybody stupid, like they didn't get the jokes. Or
Well,
I don't know how to explain
didn't
it.
you send me or I sent you a interview with Tarantino talking about how what he doesn't like about movies today is ideology takes over story.
Yeah,
And people's personal ideologies become more important than the
100%
actual story.
agree. Well,
which I think
that's kind of what I'm nervous
Yeah.
about because it literally is another film about someone who is going to be
In
he's
politics,
a serial killer
yeah.
who joins politics to make laws more murder friendly. I wonder what it's going to be about
Right.
after Don't Look Up. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
You know?
it sucks because listen, he's a great director. He's had a great career. He has the right to make whatever he wants.
Of course,
but I
yeah.
miss those movies he used to
Yeah.
do, dude. Like The Other Guys
That's so
is
good.
one of my favorite movies ever.
Mm.
Like it sucks because we don't get comedies like that anymore. So when him and Will Ferrell said they weren't going to be making movies anymore, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And the last one he made was Anchorman 2. That was really the last like great, old style comedy
No,
that
yeah,
we
early
had.
2000s.
I will say,
Yeah.
for as good as he is, like you said, kind of his last two, like Vice and Don't Look Up, like they were kind of iffy.
Right. Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
And we
And-
were hyped about Vice. That was a good
We were hyped
trailer.
about both of them.
Yeah.
And like Vice was like, I would say like so just average.
Yeah.
And just like Don't Look Up kind of sucked. The Lakers show was awesome.
Yep.
But that's more about me probably being like an NBA fan. So I'm interested to see, you know what I mean? Like how like cute because he can get a little, like you said, sometimes he's too smart
way
for
to
his
put
own
it.
good.
Yeah.
Like how cute he gets with this,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah.
but
it's
it
a
could be interesting. And like Matt
Oh, it could be
said,
good. I
it
mean-
being on Netflix, like,
Oh.
yeah, I can always just turn it off, and
Yeah.
I didn't.
And I mean,
I wasn't
do you-
charged anything additional.
You can't get better than these two guys too in the leads. when you're
see,
talking
that's
about
another
actors.
thing. Like
Yeah.
now I'm gonna watch. 'cause
right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Like if it was just random actors, Adam McKay, like
Right.
maybe
And Robert Pattinson's
he's-
like very stingy with what roles he does. So
He's
I'm
Batman.
excited for this.
Before we let Matt go, you
And
had
just-
you had something.
Yeah, we do have a question
Oh,
today
nice.
before we get into Succession
oh my
here.
gosh.
This one I stole though from
Oh, it's fine.
Barstool, Lights Camera Barstool.
We
They
won't
had a
tell
video
anyone.
out the other day I saw, and I thought it was a great question.
What is
If they complain, that means they're watching the show, and we appreciate
That's
it.
great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Very simple, but very good. What's your favorite opening movie scene?
Oh wow.
Opening sequence to a movie. I know that
geez.
they threw out what they threw out in their video. The Dark Knight.
Yeah, don't mess with my head because I got.
yeah,
I got
the
I have to
main
like
scene.
really think.
I got mine if you want me to kick
Yeah,
it
you
off.
you guys go
this
first.
this is a no-brainer for me. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, good. That's a
That
good
little
one. Oh, it's a good
opening with
one.
Indy and he comes out of the shadows. That whole sequence with the stone rolling. That I got to go with Raiders on that one.
Oh,
Matt,
Nick, you
you
go
want me to
first.
go?
Yeah, I gotta think for a
Well,
little
so
bit.
I got two of them.
Okay.
Obviously, The Godfather. I texted you about this the other day.
Yep.
The I Believe in America.
Yep.
Black screen opens up, and then we just pull back.
That is classic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
You pull back all the way over the guy's shoulder from across the room.
Mhm.
It's so good. And as an American, who doesn't want to believe in America?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
And then it's a great thing. So the other one though that I like is Casino. I know these are like tropey for me. I get it, but I'm just saying I like
that
Casino
when
because
the car blows up?
Yeah, De Niro
Yeah, yeah,
walks out of the thing. He gets in his car. It explodes, and you go into this like montage of everything. But it's brilliant because you've seen. If I can only imagine. I mean, I wasn't born. I was like 3-4 years after this. That's when I was born. But I can only imagine seeing trailers on TV or in the movie theater of Martin Scorsese's Casino coming out soon, whatever, and it's all this. And the very opening scene, the main character in this film goes and gets in a car and it explodes.
Yeah, it gets your. It's
cool,
like he did it in Goodfellas too, where he puts the middle of the movie at the beginning and then goes to the. When they're in the car driving. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I just thought it's a great moment, and you go, wait, what? I mean, it forces you to just pay attention immediately.
Have you seen though the clip of that shot? The editing, you could see the
100%
cut when it's like a body in there.
Yeah,
I
noticed it.
You got one, Matt?
I'll give you 2.
Give me 2.
I think. Now this is very superhero-y, but
No, go.
The opening scene of Infinity War just establishes
Thanos. Yes, 100%.
I mean, because superhero movies, everyone's gonna make it out.
Yep.
It just establishes we're not fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are stakes.
Heimdall gone. Loki
Heimdall
gone.
Loki, like he just wiped out
beats
everyone.
Hulk.
Thanos is a badass.
Yep.
You can't fuck around with this guy, and high stakes. Like Thor's in trouble. And obviously the Batman.
Yeah,
that
is
opening
a good
monologue.
For a recent movie.
It's
that
Halloween. It's raining. Everyone's in the mask. Everyone's hiding. It's just, so good, dude. That monologue is so fucking good.
I mean,
and you're just introduced to Gotham in the shadow.
It does. It sets the tone for the rest of the movie.
It's so good.
I think it's important though, because it, like you said, for that it catches your attention. For Casino, like it's such an important thing. The opening of a movie for Raiders of the Lost Ark, like for me, like it gives you so much intrigue about Indy and like his presence, and he's got a history with that the villain there and stuff.
Yeah, and this is my point too. Oh, what's the other one there? Is it
Oh, I was gonna say Return of the Jedi is a great opening.
Is that the one with the Death Star Destroyer that comes over the screen?
No, that's Star Wars. That's the first.
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
That's a great one too.
That's fantastic.
With
it's
like the stormtroopers that come out. Vader comes out.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't go with Star Wars though is because it's just really score that kind of sucks you in.
Yeah.
Da, 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 you know what I mean, like right away. But I will say though, this pretty much kind of proves my point. What you just said about the clip with the cutting of the like that's a shitty thing. It's just a jump cut before the explosion. I'd rather watch Casino over Dune is what I'm trying to explain. That just to kind of finalize that point around.
Yeah.
Not that Dune's bad. I'm just saying. Just because it's pretty doesn't make me want to watch it. And you can have a rough jump cut where it goes to a crash test dummy that's shaped like De Niro that explodes. And I'm not going to complain. Imagine seeing that 25 feet tall in front of you. Everybody saw that it was a crash test dummy. You know what I mean? But it still works.
Right.
And anybody who was, well, they weren't in the 90s, but if that movie came out today, anybody who was like, hey, I'm in a movie, and they just look up and the guy explodes, I mean, you're in.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean,
that's true.
Imagine seeing
I will
like
say,
that at the theater.
Despite what you think of the later, like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, all the indie movies have great openings. Temple of Doom, you have that like James Bond scene in the bar.
That's true.
And then you have the opening with young Indy in the third movie.
When does this next one come out? The one that we've been talking about? June. Oh, okay. We'll definitely review that.
Yeah.
Then,
but speaking of Return of the Jedi, though, it re-released this weekend. It made $5 million. Pretty good.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Really?
I know. I wanted to go see it. I just didn't get a chance, but that opening scene, come on, like Luke with the cloak, and you don't know if it's him or not, and like I can't imagine in like '83 being in the theater, like waiting for that.
I was seeing like someone posted like reactions, like people coming out of the theater in '83. Everyone's like, blew their mind, best movie ever. And I just thought of like me coming out of like Roger Skywalker.
Oh my God, yeah,
just like such a contrast.
Yep,
very much so.
Yeah, or like Revenge of the Sith. I came out of, and I was
I never got to see that in theater. It's one of my biggest regrets. On my deathbed,
literally the day it came out, my dad was like, "Hey, so there's a movie that comes out tonight at like midnight. I know you and your brother like Star Wars, dude. It was one of the greatest moments.
God,
so cool. It was so cool.
There's very few moments that I remember like in the theater as a kid, but one of them was like Iron Man in 2008. The Dark Knight, I vividly remember seeing those.
The cultural shift. After Dark Knight came out.
Yeah.
There's not that many. That's why I always bring up The Godfather and stuff like that, because there's not that many moments like The Godfather, Star Wars, The Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight will go down. I know I give you shit for it all the time, like because it's always Batman and all this stuff. But like I even admit The Dark Knight changed an entire generation's view on
for better or good.
Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like it did. It
was a moment. Like you remember. Like it was a moment.
And it's really sad when you think about it, because Heath Ledger didn't get to experience any of that culture shift, and it's all his fault. It's all Heath Ledger that made that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very interesting stuff. But that's
a lot of good
my
openings.
Yeah, there's tons.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't. Amen.
But Matt, thanks for joining us today. Nick and I are going to dive into Succession. Any final words for the people?
No, screw them.
All right. What a way.
No, we love everyone.
What are you talking about?
He means like and subscribe.
Let me,
let's
and
screw
comment
you.
your
Like and
favorite
subscribe.
movie.
call your family. Tell them you love them.
Yeah.
Jesus
Amen.
Christ.
Adios.
All right, God. All right, whatever.
How you doing? All right. So here we go. Succession, episode 6 of this final season here. We got 4 episodes left. We are over halfway through this season here, and it's been very good so far. Still keeping in line with the day-by-day thing this season, which I think we've been enjoying.
Mm-hmm. As usual, I have all of our pictures in order, just so you're aware.
Perfect.
Like, when we're going in through them.
Very heavy. It continues to be very heavy on Shiv, Roman, and Kendall, as it should be, I think, if this is the final season.
Well, and Logan's dead.
Yeah, right. But I definitely think some characters have taken a bit of a backseat, which we can talk to about later.
Fair.
But so this episode basically is centered around Kendall and Roman announcing this new, it's not really a streaming service. It's like an at-home entertainment system.
No, it's a real estate thing. It's like they're building houses to live in for like old people.
See, I thought it was virtual.
No. It's like an old folks home. It's land cruises.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's what they said.
Right?
And it's
So
called
they're gonna-
Living Plus.
Yeah.
And basically it's building up to this big announcement, and Kendall's obviously doing his usual spiel of he wants this, he wants that, he wants to be wearing that on stage.
He likes to be the director.
Yes, he wants clouds.
Yeah, he saw them in Berlin.
Right. So
He's
then
so funny.
so then it
Fucking
comes
drug addict.
yeah. Well, he hasn't been taking drugs recently.
No, I know, but he's like he's such a nutty, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's a
nutty
character.
professor.
He is.
But basically, it comes to that, and Roman ends up not being there, so it's just him. And that's really the majority of the episode is Kendall on stage, and obviously the ongoing conflict with Mattson here. But what'd you think of this episode?
I think it's the a hot take.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst one of the season so far. I think.
All right, I feel like worse is a strong word. Do you think it's
No, out of all of them,
is it
they've
a
all been
bad
good.
episode, or is it the least?
It's
your
my least favorite. I think so it's a little bit of both. I think, but the thing is, though, right? Because it's Succession,
Mhm.
it's fantastic. But it is the worst one. It is my least favorite episode.
Okay,
for a
but
couple
least
of
favorite's
reasons.
different from like bad.
Yeah, well, okay, but I'm gonna
Really?
I'm gonna dig deep and then we're gonna go a little filmmakery here today. And this is like,
Okay.
I know I hold this shit to a high standard, but this is Succession. Okay,
Sure.
It's the best show on television right now, hands down.
Agreed.
I would fight somebody over that. Okay, physically.
Some people would
And I'm
argue
a lover.
Barry.
Barry's hilarious.
Yeah.
Barry's the best comedy I would say on
Okay.
TV right now.
Okay.
This is the best drama.
Mhm.
It's very, very good. My issue with this one was how much did we hear about Living Plus before this episode?
I think it was definitely mentioned the episode before, but not much.
Right.
Yeah.
One
There-
time. Maybe one time.
Yes.
How much did we hear about the Gojo deal last season? It was the whole season was setting
Yep.
us up for Gojo,
Mhm.
right? So that's more like Succession. I felt like this was kind of a cheap shot, like a little like to throw Living Plus. It's like a random fucking episode to me. I didn't like the fact that Roman, although I like that he's spiraling. Like, so this is the thing, right? So like everything's kind of in line with the characters, but I felt like they just kind of threw a lot. It's so manic. This episode is like so all over the place, where the last bits of it really haven't been that much. I want to ask you, we just talked about earlier in the show before Matt left, we were talking about the greatest openings of all time. How much did you want to vomit immediately when it opened up with Logan Roy's face? The very opening shot is Logan with the green screen behind him.
I wouldn't say vomit.
No, but like it just stuff
It catches you off guard.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit! Like, wait, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
and then I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Right.
That was a cool moment. I know I'm dramatic, but it was.
No, that was cool.
I was not.
And then
just
the way
not
it plays
expecting
into
at
the
all.
thing was just
I chuckled.
Yeah,
I was like, look
yeah.
at this fucking guy.
I
was like,
know.
oh, I miss you, you
a
bastard.
lot of secondhand cringe.
Yeah. But and then just I know we jump around all the time, but toward the end when Kendall's on stage and he Logan on the screen and he edited it so that Logan goes, let's get on with it. I was like, please, when I die, have somebody do that with me up on the screen. Being like, let's move it along here. I thought that was fantastic.
Yep.
But again, we haven't heard a lot about Living Plus. It was all kind of like crammed into one episode. So that's one thing that I have an issue with. The other thing that I have an issue with was the firing of the people. So
let's talk about Living Plus first.
Sure. Okay, I'm just saying as
and then
a
we'll talk
whole,
the firing.
There were certain things that like I just felt it was poorly. executed
Okay.
in the writing side of it, if
Okay.
that makes sense. The structure of the episode itself. As an episode, though, what am I going to say? It was it's a great show. It's the best show out there. So that's part of the reason I hold it to the standard that I hold it to, though. It's like it's got to hit every point.
Yeah.
Am I going to tune in this week? I'm already gearing up for it. Look, I'm fucking excited.
Right.
But still, it's my least favorite of this season so far.
Okay. I mean, I guess now that I think of it, it's probably my least favorite too.
Out of all of them.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the episode where Logan dies being
100%.
I couldn't talk for an hour after. I was like, this is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. But the Living Plus thing, I definitely see where you're coming from. It really wasn't a big setup, but did it my question would be, did it need to be a big setup? Because it really, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think the bigger deal is that Kendall is using it to get his stock up so that Gojo can't afford them. And I mean, if you did you watch the Inside the Episode after? And how the creator of the show said he always wanted to do like a Apple launch, like that.
Okay.
So,
but all I'm saying
that
is
supports your theory in that it was kind of maybe it was thrown in there so he could finally do that.
It also supports what I was saying about the Inside the Episode from last week.
Yeah.
They said that they have a writer's room, right, where they discuss what they're going to put in the show. And they have a board where they write things down on the board, like what are some company things to do? Like one of them was go on a company retreat to another country.
Yes, yeah.
So that was their excuse to go to Norway.
Yeah.
That was what they said inside the episode.
That's like how a writing room works.
I get it, dude. I get it. I'm just saying. I said last week I felt like it was an excuse to bring the whole cast to another country just for the hell of it, because it'd be a fun thing for them to do as a film crew when you're making all the money that they're making. And then you have this one where they wanted to do an Apple launch, so they threw this in.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about what Living Plus is, though, really quick?
Yeah.
So it's like they're going to buy land, fields and fields of land, and build these tiny homes, essentially, right? And then they're going to build these communities where they're going to have, like, if you live there, you're going to have access. It does show kind of like how much power they have, but access to like stem cell research and medical.
It is a bit ridiculous.
It's a little what are we in Westworld again now? Like, what is this? Like, that was how I felt.
It like, because I couldn't see like a Fox or a Disney doing that right now.
Right.
Like anything close to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or I mean, you have they're technically. They're not, but they're kind of mirroring Fox, right?
Oh, 100%.
Rupert Murdoch, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It would be more, I kind of wish, looking back, just with this whole, like, I'm not getting political, I promise, but this whole thing about, like, Tucker Carlson being fired, it would be very interesting if they had kind of dug more into, like, an ATN thing and then had one of their top people be more influential in the show, and then you get rid of them, which will bring me on to the firing thing with Roman in a little bit, but so Living Plus is not, they call it, like Mattson even calls it great scene on the plane, by the way, with Shiv and Mattson.
Yes.
I love that little interaction.
And I
girl on the inside, she goes, okay, my boy on the outside.
Looking back, though.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think anything happened.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, no,
them.
they didn't do shit.
No.
They didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Shiv is definitely looking out for herself, though, as the, dude, we have so much to talk about right now. But the way that Mattson presents it to Shiv is like the product launch, like they're coming out with a fucking T-shirt.
Yeah.
They're talking about living to be 150/living forever.
That's a good point.
Like, what are you what are we talking about
now?
here?
Because I was confused, really, as to what it was exactly. But now that you're
right, because they've never talked about it before.
Right, you would think this would have come up a lot earlier. That's a good point. No, you got a good point. So,
and that's my only point, because if they had been talking about this, even if it had been like an underlying kind of story from season 2 or 3 that carries over, like, oh shit, Logan's gonna die. Like, I wish we had Living Plus going already or some shit. Like, it's never mentioned before.
And I wonder if it'll be mentioned really much again.
Which is why the episode feels as manic as it does. We're doing all of this stuff. It feels like a different show almost.
Yeah.
In some respects. So you have Mattson and Shiv, and I'm just trying to go through.
I was going to say, to your point about how you wish it would focus maybe more on the ATN side of things. I agree with you there, especially since they keep saying that the election is days away, and we really have not gotten much of Connor. Like, what's going on with his campaign?
Even though it's bullshit, he's at less than 1%.
What's going
on
with he? What's going on with Mencken, who they keep name dropping, but he hasn't showed up yet. Obviously, the next episode we're going to see him in the preview, but maybe this next half is going to focus more on that. But I do feel like Tom, up until this episode, I feel like hadn't had much to do. I feel like he, obviously,
yeah, but he's been a slow burn. Like there's a little ember there.
Yeah, Greg to me is just
useless.
Just there.
He's useless.
I don't know what happened
this
there.
Season.
And then the other one was Connor, who I think we're maybe going to get more of now going forward. But
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
But I do think some characters have, teetered off a little bit.
Well,
especially Greg.
It's because Logan died, so they have to focus on the three main characters. That's why.
But anyway,
let's go. So at the end of last episode, or before they go up on the mountain, right? They were showing this horrible film that they've spent tons and tons of money on. So now they are all in Los Angeles at Waystar Studios, which is essentially their Warner Brothers or their Wilco Media. They go to the Waystar Studios to kind of check in and see. It's their Universal, like they own Universal, and they're kind of checking in to see like what the issue was with that film. They're trying to straighten that out, and that's also where they're going to be giving this presentation at the end, Living Plus presentation. So there's a lot of things that they're going to be checking off at Waystar Studios. The episode opens. They bring in Jerry and Carl and all of the whole board. They have a board meeting essentially at Waystar Studios, and I thought this was interesting. They totally lie and Roman's flip out, and they say that Mattson flipped out on them on the mountain.
Yeah.
And that it's a concern. And what they're trying to do obviously is to get the board against Mattson to see if they can keep the company.
But Shiv sees through that. Yeah.
Right. Shiv also, they lie to Shiv too, and she totally calls him out on it.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Like, you're lying to me? And that is where stuff goes a little, where I think the season moving forward is going to start really screwing them over. They shouldn't, I don't believe they should have lied to Shiv, because Shiv's a bitch.
No, I think, I mean,
Shiv's
obviously it started
too.
happening when Kendall and Roman got named CEO, but they're very much not a team anymore. It's very much Kendall and Roman, and then Shiv is kind of doing her own thing, which she has been.
But as of the end of this episode, I don't even think it's Kendall and Roman. I think it's just Kendall.
Yeah, I definitely think, even though Kendall ends this episode on a high note, I definitely don't think it's going to last very long.
No, I don't either, but I don't see that like camaraderie.
Well, you could see it in terms of
bros.
Roman making fun of him on stage, and then right when he comes in, he congratulates him.
He thought everything was going to crash and burn, and he left him hanging.
Yeah.
That was very, very interesting to me. Roman, Mr. Pre-Grieve, hasn't pre-grieved.
No.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And every time someone brings up how not like his father he is, we get to see more of the not pre-grieving.
So let's go through his firings here. The first one he fired was Joy, who is, I think, the studio
EP.
head.
Yeah. He's just an executive at the studio. Yeah.
At the studio. Very unprofessional way of firing. I mean, Logan-esque.
Would never happen
Logan-esque in the sense of, like, Logan would fire someone on the spot, but, like, not like that.
No, he would have had Jerry there, and he would have had other people.
Yeah,
there is a way to go about doing things, which brings us to the next firing. I don't want to skip it. I'm just saying, like, it would never, ever, ever, ever happen in real life. Ever. Not like that. Never.
What?
She would have, in real life, Joy would have laughed at him as he walked away from the table, because it opens him up to, like, all of this legal scrutiny and everything.
Well, they did address that, though.
Jerry addresses it with him. But what I'm saying is, like, just, like, dude, no one is that stupid. No one is going to put, first of all, the board is not going to put Kendall and Roman in as CEO of this company if they think that they're going to act like that. Like, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I feel like Roman is a very sporadic character, and I think, like you said, he still hasn't processed his dad's death, so, like, he's really not in a good headspace.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah. And, by the way, this is whether I think the situation is realistic or not. The performance on Kieran Culkin's side, when I love one thing we have not talked about, and I watched this episode twice, and the second time is when I thought of this. We haven't talked about the editing at all, and this is something that's really big for me. So, because I'm an editor, so like the editing in that scene where he fires Joy, it's very back and forth, choppy. They're having a conversation, and the second he goes, "Well, I could just fire you," the editor didn't even cut and. Like whoever made the decision, the editor does not cut to her reaction. You hang on Roman sitting there being like, "I could just fire you."
Yeah,
and it's so impactful.
Yeah, because I think that moment means more to him.
Yeah,
his character.
He's serious. Yeah. We are Joy in that that scene, and it's really cool, man. Like the editing is phenomenally done in this show, but like that was just something that stood out to me. So good job editing.
Yep.
So he fires the studio executive, and she's like, "You're making a big mistake," and he's like, "Yep, whatever." And then he tries to go back to discuss more of this Living Plus thing, and Jerry barges in, and is like, "I need to see you right now," and does this mom thing.
Yep.
How's that wind up? How's that go?
He fires her. He fires her. They have a big back and forth. Obviously, probably not a smart move. Probably not
really
the best
surprised
executed thing to do, especially when we know that Jerry has a lot of stuff on Roman that you could throw out there.
That's one.
Future.
And two, I thought they were really close. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They can't even have, like, listen, dude, I'm being honest,
but I think that I will say, since season 3, they have been growing more and more apart.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, like, let's be honest here. Like, if you and I were having a conversation like that, and then I just randomly was like, "Well, we're not doing your show anymore," like, you'd be like, "Wait, what? Wait, what?"
Yeah, but there's been build up. There's been build up, and he knows that.
I know.
He
I
literally fired Jerry already.
I haven't been sending you pictures of my dick anyway, so
yeah,
you know,
right.
like him.
But
we could start. We could try.
This isn't the first time he's fired Jerry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He knows Logan didn't want her there. You know what I'm saying? So I think
I don't know. I just feel like specifically Roman and Jerry have been like this pseudo couple.
But I think it's definitely broken apart.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just sad to see, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because it was such a great relationship before.
No, but there was something there.
Yeah,
there was something weird there. I'm telling you, just because it's not your typical average relationship doesn't make it not real.
Yeah.
You know, they had something.
We have talked about Roman, like what his deal is.
Sexually?
In terms of sexually.
Yeah.
And I actually did read an article last week that the creator was talking about, or it might have been actually Kieran Culkin said that whole, remember the first season when he has the physical trainer?
That he is like talking about being gay or
well,
something.
That there was going to be a whole plot line with that.
Oh,
that they didn't do it. Yeah. So
that would have been great.
Interesting stuff.
That would have been great.
But anyway, so then he fires that. A lot of manic stuff going on there.
I was just thinking about Logan when he sends Logan the dick pic as opposed to Jerry.
Yeah.
And Logan goes, "What is this? Are you a sicko?
Are you a sicko?"
And then he goes, "No, it's just a dick pic." People send him. He goes, "What? Like, fuck you, here's your dick?" Like,
yeah.
That's season 1. Dude, it's so good.
I know.
It's so good. I know. This show is so good. Go ahead.
So then, obviously, Roman goes to tell Kendall this.
This is where Kendall lost me. He got me back, but this is where Kendall lost me.
Loves it because I think
he's a psycho.
This is a nice moment, though, because I feel like it's one thing where, like, Roman appreciates Kendall's support. Like, he gives him the pat on the back, and he's like, you know what I'm saying? There is, like,
and he's nervous. He was like, you might have to walk it back.
100%. Yeah.
This is why I don't think that moving forward, as of the end of the episode, I don't think moving forward that they're on the same team, though. No. Because in his time of crisis, Kendall was right there. Pat on the back. Fuck it, fire me too, bro. Like, he was like, I got you. Whatever. Yeah. You're a CEO too. Like, he was right there, brothers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then later, Kieran kind of fucks him a little bit. I mean, Roman kind of fucks Kendall a little bit.
But so then obviously Kendall goes through his whole thing about what he wants for the show. Stuff doesn't work out as he planned it. He wants it done in like 24 hours.
Right.
And he got these space jacket suits. He's ready. He got one for Roman, and then Roman's like, I think I'm going to leave this one to you. Kendall, a great acting from Jeremy Strong, like just like
across the board.
Yeah, you can tell his disappointment there. But he goes out on stage, and then it starts pretty bad. Like, you think,
big shoes.
Shit, big shoes.
And I was gonna puke. I mean, I'm sitting there going, oh my God.
And then he brings out, obviously, the edited video of Logan.
Yeah.
And stuff. But then he really picks it up. And then I thought again that it was gonna
with
take
Mattson.
a downfall with Mattson. And then he kind of handled it well.
I was really kind of surprised. Like, so we've talked about before that, like, Mattson kind of represents like a Mark Zuckerberg or an Elon Musk, just like a very young multi-billionaire CEO guy, right? Okay. But you make a Holocaust? I don't see Elon Musk making that specific type of
but I mean,
joke.
He's still not really Elon Musk, you know what I'm saying? He's his own character.
No, I'm saying I was surprised the character made a move like that. Because the Holocaust is kind of a global thing that everybody knows about.
But he seems I think he's just pretty off. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. I just think he thought it was funnier than it actually was, is all I mean.
Yeah.
And it definitely was not a funny joke. Kendall handles it. immaculately well.
The thing about Kendall is he's had his ups and downs, but he's had some wins.
Yeah.
And he shows glimpses of himself, but then like the next episode, he drops down again. You know what I'm saying? It's never consistent with him, which I think is the issue. And I think that's probably why Logan bounced so much back and forth as to whether to name him his heir or not.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. The guy's a drug addict and an alcoholic, and
he is sober.
Now he is.
Yeah.
I thought, quite frankly, that after Logan passed away, that there'd be some issue there.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
But again, when the first 5 days,
yeah.
Not to mention that, and I think that because he immediately went from that to, I mean, he has every sign of an addict, at least in my opinion. I'm no professional there, but again, I've dealt with addiction in my family and stuff like that. But like, he is obsessed with being CEO.
Yeah.
He is obsessively, addicted to being CEO right now. It is his current alcohol or drug. That's how he deals with stuff. He listens to the playlist in the car and the headphones and the whole like he is. If you take that away from him, what happens to this character is he goes to drugs and alcohol. So it's very interesting. So the go ahead.
Let's stay on the Kendall.
That's where I am.
Train. Yeah. And then so obviously everyone's shitting on him from the room watching it, but then after they see the numbers and they support him. And then, I mean, let's talk about that last shot.
Of him in the water?
Yeah, of him in the water. I mean, it's weird, and I don't know if it's just kind of a consistent visual thing that they're doing or it's foreshadowing something, but Kendall's been in, like, a body of water every season.
The pseudo self-deletion.
Well, you have the car crash in the first season.
Yeah.
The second
he's
season.
Always in the water.
The second season, he's in the water.
In the pool.
On the boat. Then the third season is when he almost dies. He almost drowns in the pool. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an interesting thing that keeps going on, but this is probably the most like heroic moment for him in terms of like.
So I do find it funny that he's always kind of diving head first into the water, and this water moment, he's on his back looking up, like he's clearly can breathe. Yeah. And if we're gonna get symbolic with it, that could mean something.
Yeah.
As opposed to even when he's in the pool, like part of the reason that he drowns or whatever, drops the beer bottle, is he's facing down sleeping in the pool. When he's in the car.
And the music is very triumphant. Like
it's a moment.
Yeah.
It's a moment and a half.
And I want him, like, listen, he's not the best guy, but like he's also been through a ton of shit.
Sure.
And I'm not going to root against him. I do want him to end up on a good note, I think, whether he's CEO or not.
Right.
I don't want to see him, die in any form. So
no, I don't want him to either. So let's backtrack a little bit while I have this picture up. Right, this is Logan's footage of what he was going to present before he passed away.
Yep,
he was going to present Living Plus at some point. They have this stock footage of him talking about Living Plus. Greg lost me. This is another thing into the episode.
Yeah, when he's just kind of being Tom.
Yeah. When he went in and talked to that guy, the black guy who's doing the sound editing.
You just took offense because you're editor. Yeah,
What do you mean? What, the editing the sound?
No, because you felt you were in the editor's shoes there.
No, I felt like it. If Greg was talking to me like that, I don't care. I would have been like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
It sounded fake. Where this show, even though the characters are a little bit exaggerated and everything else, I like the real moments, and that was like. What? Like what? It sounded like a Anchorman would never be a real news movie. You buy it because everybody buys it in the movie, but it just like those lines, that scene with Nick Bronson, like that was kind of out of character. As much in character as it was a little out of character for me.
Yeah.
It was a little like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking like that? You know, as opposed to just again, I was excited for Greg. When he told Carrie that she would not have her own show.
Yes.
I thought that was a great scene.
Yes. Good
and
scene.
that was done very well, the lines there. You know what I mean? But his so just do it because I don't want to get in trouble. And it was like childish. I don't feel like the guy who he was talking to would have responded the way that he did. Like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, what is going on? Anyway, it's the reason I bring that scene up is because they change what Logan said to say something he did not say.
Yeah.
Which was that the numbers, the revenue would double. And I was like, I want to ask RJ how he feels about this. You have no idea, by the way. We film these on Wednesday. They go up on Friday. but I watch shows on Sunday most of the time.
Yeah.
And it takes everything out of me not to ask you these questions until we get here. Like, I want to know what you thought about the fact that they totally fudged what somebody said, even though the person's dead. But they lied, bro. That's an SEC vibe. It would make sense in the real world, okay, if the Murdochs had done this, let's say, for Fox News, or if Steve Jobs, it would make total sense for episode 7 to opening scene of one of these people in handcuffs. That is a fucking SEC violation all day long. They are lying. The numbers are completely fudged. It's all bullshit, and they could all go to jail. If you notice, he mentions Carl. Carl stands up clapping. Jerry is sitting there like this.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is not good.
No.
This is not good. And Mattson could fuck them now, and now he has the same kind of relationship that Kendall and Hugo have, except that Kendall is Hugo and Mattson is Kendall.
Yeah, everyone's blackmailing each other. Yeah. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's really scary.
It's definitely some shit's gonna go down in these last 4 episodes.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Before we wrap it up, though, what did you think of? Because we've been talking a lot about Shiv and Tom's interesting relationship. What did you think about it here?
What about the bitey scene?
Yeah, the bitey scene. Yep.
What do you
think about it in general?
I love it. As sick and twisted as it is.
Yeah.
And how I love that Tom is kind of half admits that he's faking being a pussy. Like, he's all about money.
He's definitely changed.
When he sits on the bed, that's a great shot that you had, by the way. In this scene, when he's sitting on the bed and he kind of says point blank, like, yeah, I betrayed you because I like money. Yeah. And I never know where you land with me. Yeah. And so I have to look out for me, and I have to look out for money. And he's like, you know what? It's a great moment. It's a great moment because he's admitting to be this asshole. Yeah. And then he says, but don't worry, because you're an asshole too. He goes, that's fine. You want to go live in a trailer park? I'll give up everything right now, as long as you give up all your shit to come live with me. Yeah. You want to marry for love? Let's marry for love, babe. Let's have nothing together. And he's like, so you coming? And then they have that great moment where they're laughing. Yeah. This is obviously after the bitey scene. What'd you think about the bitey scene? I thought it was super cute. I was all over it. Like, I loved it.
Yeah, it was definitely...
It was weird. It was public. It
makes sense within their relationship to cause pain to each other, you know?
In public like that, though, where everybody knows?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely weird.
It was weird, no?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I just thought you'd have an interesting take.
Yeah, but... I don't know. I'm just waiting for her to tell him about the kid. I'm very curious to see what
the fuck is going on with the kid?
I know, they really haven't touched that.
She was drinking again in this episode.
I know. I don't know how they're... I'm wondering. I'm curious, though, because Sarah Snook, who plays Shiv, is pregnant now, like I saw her on the red carpet, like pretty far down the road. So she had to have been...
Oh, yes, she is.
Pregnant during this. Yeah. Do you think that they wrote that in because she was pregnant? Or do you think it was always their plan to make Shiv pregnant?
I think. So
I mean, it could be a coincidence.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
We've been talking about this the whole time. I feel like they're not stupid enough to have it written in, and then also have her drink. Someone's gonna call it out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So like, and she does drugs. Mm-hmm. So like,
but no one knows other than the doctors. So. There's no one there to call it out.
I'm saying from the viewer standpoint.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. And like something, she's definitely doing something.
Oh, 100%. Curious. But
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
I had a feeling that they were going to end up back together. I just like that we've now officially kind of from Tom's. We never knew where Tom stood.
No, right now both lines are drawn.
Yeah, and we get it. And to be quite honest, this is probably where they should have been before they decided to get married.
I mean, it sucks that they went through what they did, and whether or not
sometimes
you agree
have
with them, it's good that at least they're on terms where they understand both sides.
Right, 100% agree with you. Yeah, man. Listen,
well, how you feeling?
I love Tom. I
love Tom too.
Tom. Yeah, I love Tom. I don't as much as I don't like Kendall. I think the recovery was during the speech where they, especially after the Holocaust joke and all that BS. There was that interaction. There's a lot of arrogance about the kids. Obviously, we talk about it all the time. And he even says it to Carl when Carl says like, "Hey, buddy, like, excuse the expression for the people watching, but Carl says in the show, he says, "You've got my dick in your hand, but I've got yours in mine." Yeah, and it's that thing of like, you may think you have one over on me, but trust me. Like, you need me. You know what I mean? Like, you can think that you're messing around, like you're so cool, but like, yeah, you need me. And he says point blank to him, he's like, if you say anything that I don't like when you're up there, we're gonna have a big fucking issue.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. And I really thought, because Shiv says to Roman that like she's the one that sparks the division between the brothers. Like he has done crazy stuff before. This is gonna go south. Back away. And Roman tries to say, why don't we back away? And Kendall's like, no, wait, what? Like, no, we have to do this. And he's like, okay, I'll do it myself, kind of deal, right? Loses Roman entirely. And then Roman throws a fit. The reason I bring up this with the editing of this stuff is that Kendall then re-edits some other footage and says sends it to Roman. If anybody, you texted me and said I don't want Kendall to die, but you think that something might happen. What if Roman just can't handle it anymore? Like, what if some shit he's like that's a creepy way to end the episode. Roman Roy has a small dick and does everything wrong. And he's on repeat. He's listening to his dad.
See, I took that more as like he's just listening to his dad's voice, less in terms of like what he was actually saying.
He does everything wrong?
No. But I'm saying like like him replaying that was like, you know, if you have someone who had died in your family and you have their voicemail and you listen to their voice.
But he manically and psychotically fired 2 people just because they said he's not like his dad. He's been clearly not having a time to grieve. He flipped out on Mattson on the mountain because of his dad, and now the voice of his dad has been edited to say that he does everything wrong.
Yeah.
Trust me, it matters. Like it's a psycho moment, dude. He's going a little crazy. And he hasn't really had a release yet. I know he yelled, but I mean, like, he hasn't had a minute to be like, yo.
Yeah.
I have a theory, and I want your opinion on this, and this goes toward the end of it. This is in my conclusion. You can talk about whatever you want. What is the last episode? Is it Logan's funeral? Do you think that that's what it's going to be?
Maybe.
It might be a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Is at his funeral.
I saw that it's an hour and a half. It's called With Open Eyes. That's all I know.
I'm pumped.
Wait, you how do you know it's at a funeral?
No, I'm asking. Do we end this series? Is that a good closing moment for the series at Logan's funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they're waiting to do the funeral till after the election and everything tides over.
Well, it might be interesting if it's called With Open Eyes as they're closing a casket.
Right. Yeah. I could see that.
Hour and a half, too. Good
stuff. Good stuff. Can't wait.
I know.
But
I know.
Yeah, we're near the end here. I can't wait. We'll be reviewing next week. We're thinking of maybe doing a live reaction right after the finale too. So we'll keep you guys updated on that.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you guys for watching. Movie Mob Podcast drops every Friday at 6 p.m. Sideline with Matt if you like sports. Talking NBA playoffs. That drops every Wednesday at 12 p.m. And then we got Movie Roulette. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is our review this week, and that's going to be dropping on Monday. So get after it, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment below what you thought of this episode, everything we talked about. How you doing?